What a way to start it off. Let me try that one more again. One more again. Welcome to Nights at the Turntable, episode 53. With me, I have Jehovah,
What's up?
Kels,
Hey.
and B Will.
What's going on?
Today, the main topic of the show is, of course, about Andre 3000. Before we get into that, we're going to address a couple news topics and answer a viewer question as well. First up, apparently, so Kanye tweeted out a picture of him and Kendrick Lamar, and he said that Madlib sent them 6 beat CDs, not 6 tracks, 6 beat CDs. Now, B Will already has some words that he wants to say, rather, he's already said about Kanye in the upcoming album. Would you care to remind everyone, sir?
Why, of course. Kanye West started his career as an outstanding producer, a producer that resurrected the Motown soul sound for what was the current hip-hop generation at the time. I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that generation is no longer the current generation. We've got a new current generation, but he resurrected that sound, which bolstered Jay-Z's career and enhanced his longevity. It gave Kanye the saturation and the reach to work with artists to steal studio time, as he put it, and jump off his own album, which he used his money as a producer to make his own video, and the rest is pretty much history. He started as a producer, a great producer, who gave voice to people who were not of the streets, which was important, which is why so many people between the years of 2002 and 2006 are pretty much, and have been pretty much, diehard Kanye fans, because he spoke to something that nobody else has spoke to. It was never cool to not be in the streets or of the streets before Kanye. And Kanye comes around, it's like, it's okay, you can still want money vehemently, you can still want to fuck all the bad women, you can still want to get drunk and high and have fun, but you don't have to want to kill people to be accepted in the rap game. And that was a huge turning point, and that's why a lot of people fuck with Kanye. He's obviously lost something between then and now. I mean, we say obviously, it's been, what, 6 albums?
Yep.
The obvious loss of something. We can get into another time later what that something is, but Yeezy was the first time everybody kind of was like, you sure?
Oh, Yeezus?
Yeah, Yeezus. Yeezus was the beginning of that. And now that, in each feature that he's done, each verse that he's done, I'm including Cruel Summer in the verses that he's done, I no longer hear any motivation from Kanye West. No motivation. He has nothing left to prove. At one point, he dropped something and wasn't appreciated. He had something to prove, which is why Late Registration was outstanding. And he continued to prove it. And I feel like once he got all the pats on the backs, all the Grammys, all the awards, all the thumbs up, there was nothing left to prove musically. And that has proved detrimental to his ability to speak for anybody of our generation, mine and the one behind mine, the one in front of mine. And that's obvious because he's complaining about not being taken seriously as a fashion designer. Who cares? Make some music. What are you talking about? I don't expect this album to be anything but him complaining about things in his life that are no longer relevant to the audience that gave him his platform in the first place. That's what I expect from Kanye West.
It's the Jay-Z syndrome. Like Jay-Z.
But it was acceptable for Jay-Z to do it. That's my issue.
Mm-hmm.
People wanted Jay-Z to do that. People are, oh, he coming up, he's making money. He has a clothing line. He's versatile. When Jay-Z had 1,000 other outlets to make money, he was an entrepreneur. But Kanye's a sellout.
Well, no,
But
Jay-Z.
here's the thing with Jay-Z. Jay-Z wasn't up on stage or hitting radio stations to talk about it and kind of having a very convoluted message when he was talking about it.
Kanye's made sure to use every little bit of his platform and other people's platforms, i.e. the VMAs, to get this message out.
Right.
So he's doing whatever he wants to do, and he made some good-ass music while he was doing it. Yeah, he made some shitty music as well. But Real Friends is relatable to the audience that, I don't know, I feel like I'm the audience that fell in love with him when he was coming up. And I love Real Friends.
Real Friends is a step in a better direction than Yeezus, in my opinion. But even if, at a close listen, it's not as potent as previous Kanye, which I guess, we can't expect that. What were you about to say, Joe?
What was I gonna say? I don't know. It's
I got a question. Everybody can answer this question. Okay, so we don't know what the production credits are gonna be like on this project, but I'm gonna run with this whole thing that Madlib sent him 6 beat CDs, right? Do we think with Kanye taking himself away from a large portion of the music production that we may get a better rhyming Kanye West?
I don't know because I feel. Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
Okay. What I was gonna say is, I feel like the Kanye that we all fell in love with is the same Kanye who produced his own stuff.
Right.
But at the same time, like he's not. I mean, his name's on it, but we all know it's Travis Scott or it was Kid Cudi. All these other people. So I feel like at this point, if he actually doesn't have a say so in the production, we might be getting a totally different Kanye, which might be worth having.
A Vic Mensa album? No. Sorry. He hasn't proven that yet.
We're about to get a Vic Mensa Travis Scott album.
But I'm here for that. Kanye's been doing that though. Like he did that for a lot of albums. He got his sound. I feel like after graduation, it's kind of like he started like really evolving super fast because he got everything he ever dreamed of that he was talking about. He didn't have everything he was complaining about. He gets it, and then he progresses to a different level. I feel like. Right. So maybe this level is a level I might be able to relate to. Maybe I won't have to just pretend like it didn't happen like I do Yeezus. Hopefully. But he's been taking inspiration from other artists. I said that won't sell him no dreams, but the inspiration is free. He wasn't talking about giving people inspiration. He's like, you come here. I'm not like, this is what we're doing. He took their inspiration and he could sell it because of who he is. He has a platform.
You know what? That's amazing that you say that because my homeboy G.I., shout out to G.I. if he's listening. We were having this conversation about Yeezy when he dropped that freestyle over that Metro Boomin beat right around New Year's, and he was like, he said the exact same thing you said. He said when he said selling the dreams, but the inspiration is free. He was like, I want to talk about giving you inspiration.
I wasn't giving y'all shit. That's what I'm telling y'all.
You inspired me. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
He said the same thing. He said he has been taking from people. But to be fair, he has always taken from people. It was traditionally sampled, so
they weren't using it as well as he could.
Right, and
if you look at College Dropout, those are Consequence and GLC and Rhyme Fest rhymes.
Yeah.
Actually, this leads right into my next question. And for some reason, Google kind of crashed on me, so I'm back. And I don't think anybody brought this up, but is the main difference between Kanye then and now is the people around him? Because you're right, it was GLC and Consequence before, and we had the transition from Kid Cudi, and now we have Travis Scott and him getting like reference tracks from Kendrick. Do we think that is why this Kanye West is so different?
Yeah, it's absolutely, and it's an evolution of style too. Like if you look at College Dropout to Late Registration, who's the guy that he got to executive produce with him? John Bryan, I think his name is. So technically, it went from College Dropout is nothing but soul samples and hot, sped up beats and drums and stuff. And then Late Registration, you get Kanye with like an orchestra strings and stuff, biting from John Bryan style. Well, not technically biting. He worked with
him. Yeah.
And then you have Graduation Kanye, where he's getting. Graduation Kanye was like experimental. It was like, because you had the Daft Punk track that was a single, then you had Can't Tell Me Nothing, which was DJ Toom. Like he was just pulling from like everywhere on that album. And then after that, it's Kid Cudi, and then after that, it's Hit Boy, and then after that, it's Travis Scott. I think it's a mix of the evolution of sound in hip hop in general, and I think it's an evolution of the people he works with as well.
Yeah, Kanye is very fluid as an artist, and it's kind of what made him successful, but also kind of makes it where he can do weird shit, and everybody's like, "What are you doing?" Because he's fluid. The people who he's around, that's who he ends up like taking all their input, and he's so emotionally imbalanced that he just is 1,000% them, and then 1,000% something else.
Mm.
Yeah, most definitely. And then I think the most drastic difference is that not that he's working with different people. Like, he's always worked with different people, and like we were saying, he's had different sounds over the course of all the albums. But early, there was a hunger and a need there that so many people our age could relate with. We're not relating with Kanye anymore. We don't. It's like,
well, it's because we all have chips on our shoulders because we're not rich, whereas Kanye has everything. So we're not coming up with Kanye anymore. Kanye is the CEO of the company now, and we're still the low-level employees.
Exactly.
But stuff also got unfulfilling for him at a certain point, because you can tell in the way he made music was different. Like, that hunger you're talking about it comes from passion. He stopped really giving a fuck about anything for a while.
That passion died when his mom died.
Yeah, and now
After
he has
808s,
kids, and now
nothing.
there's a totally different passion. Like, now he's in love with somebody who had one baby already. She's pregnant now. Like, that, you can't like take that kind of passion from people. He could take ideas all he wanted to for the last two. Or even the features, the last Garbage Truck Juice music he made, he took that from somebody else too, but he also took ideas and made good music at one time because he had a passion. Now he has kids. His mom died, and it's like, nah, he had kids, and that's a totally different passion that's coming from somewhere else. So I feel like it's not going to be, nothing he makes is going to be as disappointing as what he made last time.
So you think it's possible that this album would be better than Yeezus, which ain't saying much.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know. These two tracks give me hope.
These two tracks give me more. It's better than Yeezus with just these two tracks. I'll just listen to those if I need to.
And I feel like he's getting off because Yeezus was so bad that if it's not as bad as Yeezus, then he's back, which is not really true. But it's gonna have that feel because everybody was so disappointed with Yeezus.
Right. True that. And then the stands that love Yeezus their hair's gonna explode with this next project. So. Word, but do you have any last statements on Kanye and the Madlib beat CDs?
I mean, I'm looking forward to it because he's had his own production or other people's production with a coat of Kanye production, which always sounded just like Kanye production, and I think that's why we're all a little disappointed that he's not producing as much anymore. Even when he started producing less, I still thought it was mostly him. I wasn't checking the credits. I was like, new Kanye drop? Oh, shit, it sounds like him because it sounds simple. It sounds dirty. This is remarkable. But it wasn't really him. So now I think it's been a crutch for him because his sound has always been amazing, whether it's other people producing or not. Up until Yeezus, production was outstanding. If it's simple, how many people do you know can really just ride a simple-ass beat and murder it and make you feel like, damn, I got more out of that beat than anybody else who rhymed over it would have. I don't think of Kanye that way. I've never felt like that about Kanye. I felt like his music being so exemplary made his rhymes more impactful. So I'm interested to see what happens when this beat isn't doing the absolute most for you and it's really just you rhyming. How's that gonna work out? So I'm eager to hear it.
All right. Anybody else?
I mean, I wanna get that feeling that I got when he said at the Grammys, I said I inspired me. Like, I want to get that feeling again, and I hope that this music does that.
That would be good.
No, I'm good. I agree.
All right, word. Well, I definitely hope it's a solid listen because I'm a big fan of the old Kanye stuff. And Yeezus is the only misstep. Yeezus and like all of
like half of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy too.
I still enjoyed that album a lot.
What?
Yeah, I enjoyed My Beautiful.
I think that's one of the. You don't like it, Joe?
I mean, I like some of it. I just think that it's like half and half.
What?
I think it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, I love that album.
Yeah, same here. Well, that'll be a conversation for another day.
Write that down, somebody.
All right, but going into the next topic, but actually it'll tie in with the reader question as well. But Macklemore actually dropped a track today that was not terrible, But it did spark a discussion. This is going to be a heated discussion for quite a while. But the song is called White Privilege 2. And by the way, I never heard White Privilege 1, I don't believe. So
I don't think anybody has.
Yeah, that one totally slipped by me because I don't think that was on the heist. And if it was, it didn't stand out very much. But he dropped this track, which is nearly 9 minutes long. And he's touching on his own perspective. He's going at other artists that he feels are culturally appropriating in hip hop. Iggy Azalea, who responded, by the way, and her response is straight trash. But we'll get to that too. He mentioned Miley Cyrus as well. But did everybody get a chance to listen to White Privilege 2?
Yeah, I did.
Kels, did you?
I didn't.
You did not. And you read a whole bunch of think pieces on.
Read the articles, but I was like out and about doing stuff, and I wasn't really driving enough. I was like actually in places, so I didn't get a chance to listen to it.
Gotcha. Brian, did you?
I did not either.
Okay. Joe, what were your thoughts?
I posted it. I had it submitted on the site and stuff, and after that I went and I tweeted a bunch of dots. I was like, I like a Macklemore track. I think it's cool that he's addressing stuff like this in his music. But in the post that I did on thecoalition.com, I said he's going to get crucified on Twitter for this exact notion. And sure enough, he got crucified on Twitter all day long for this.
Gotcha. I have a heavy criticism for that too.
I think it's very cool that he's taking his platform, because if you look at a lot of artists who do bite from hip-hop culture or do bite from another culture, they don't use their platform in the way that they should. Like, that's why I respect J. Cole, because he has the platform and he talks about these issues as much as he can. So with Macklemore doing it, and Macklemore is pop rap. Like, you don't hear him on urban radio. You will hear his music on pop stations.
Right.
So, and pop stations aren't going to touch this track, but they will blog about it for sure.
Yes.
And to even have that notion of him speaking about a white privilege and educating people about it, I think it's a good thing.
Kels.
He gave it away for free, right? Like,
yep.
It was free on iTunes? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't listen to it, but like you said, I read a think piece on it, and I'm not a fan.
That satisfies me enough.
That's all that matters.
I was like sitting there, I was like, I could read this. I don't have my headphones. My speaker on my phone doesn't. It's a long story, whatever. And I was like, I'm just going to read everything I can about it. Maybe that'll suffice. But I need to listen to it, actually. I think it's a good idea. I just don't enjoy his music, but that doesn't mean it's not good music. I guess I didn't pay enough attention to Twitter. I didn't see him get crucified on Twitter, I guess. But my thing about getting crucified on Twitter is he's still, outside of Twitter, he's a successful artist. So, you can get crucified on Twitter all day. They could laugh at this song you made, whatever, but he's still a successful artist. He's still winning awards and selling a lot of records. So, kind of more real world, people are writing think pieces about this song Macklemore made. Mm-hmm. Like, that's kind of a big deal. If I wrote a song and somebody wrote a think piece about it, I'd be like, hey, like, what's up? I'm out here, But I mean, I like it. I like Macklemore a little bit more now. I used to not. Meh. Mike could tolerate him now, though.
Got you. Which I mentioned in the chat. I enjoyed the heist. I've gotten into shouting matches on Twitter about Macklemore and the heist. That happened. I can't remember if that was before his texting Kendrick fiasco thing, but that actual event, him sharing the text that he shared with Kendrick about saying that Kendrick deserved the award, that soured me towards Macklemore a bit, and Downtown also soured me a bit. But this song I like, and I didn't see as many people crucifying him on Twitter. I really wish it would have been a bigger conversation on Twitter for a longer amount of time, because, like, one of the things that people feel like should happen when it comes to white privilege is the kind of inward dismantling of it, like a person taking responsibility for it and criticizing it. And that's exactly what he did with this 9-minute song. Most, like, you know, he talks about what he sees from other people in the industry. He talks about how he didn't understand how he was kind of appropriating it as well, or benefiting from it rather, which he's talked about in interviews and stuff. So I feel like people like the think piece that you read, Kels, the one I think you linked me to it. The headline said, "What is wrong with Macklemore's white privilege?" which was a very smart headline, by the way.
Got people
it was a
to
very
click on
good
it.
article.
Clickbait!
Yeah. It was a really, really good
I'm
article.
here for that
It was
clickbait.
just like, in that instance, I was totally here for it, because when you first posted, I was like, "Oh shit, here we go. This is gonna be a shitstorm." But the young lady, I can't remember her name. I think it was like Dominique something. I can't remember. But she broke it down really well and was like, "This is what we expect. This is what we hope for in these instances." Plus, yes, he gave it away for free, so you can't even say, you know, he continued to appropriate off of it directly while speaking on it at the same time. Like, he didn't make any money off of this track, like for the track itself. It'll probably help his album sales.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think
might buy it, or stream
I
it.
might think about it. I think it's good because, like you're saying, like the thing is when it comes to white privilege in America, we don't discuss these things, and part of the biggest thing is opening the discussion up, because he's talking about how he didn't even know he was benefiting from it, and then he realized what he was benefiting from it, and
Right.
a lot that's necessary. Like what we've done for so long is swept everything under the rug. Like, oh, you know, everything's cool, and it's not, because we don't discuss anything. We don't have any type of understanding, any dialogue about what's really going on.
I wonder though, like how many people are actually going to listen to this song who aren't like fans of hip hop, that are just like strict like Macklemore fans, like top 40 fans, and they're going to be like, what's this white privilege? Like what is white privilege? Because a lot of white people still don't understand that they benefit from their skin color. A lot of people still
That's
don't
part of the
understand
privilege. Like that.
You don't have to
That is
acknowledge
the
it.
privilege.
That's part
You
of it.
don't
They don't.
have
Yeah,
to.
you don't acknowledge it.
Yeah, when you like that, I don't see race stuff. It's like you're like, that's part of the privilege. You can say that type of stuff.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things that stood out to me on the music side when he was talking about his rise, it's like he felt that he was busting his ass and working really hard as an independent artist, do it yourself, all of this, and then he was like, the thing that America doesn't tell you is that you as a white person were 2 steps ahead from the get-go.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, that was like, and the way he just spelled it out in the song, I was like, yo, that was dope. That was legit. And to speak on Iggy, so he mentioned her. Did y'all see her response?
Something about if that's how he feels, then maybe he shouldn't have been taking pictures and buddying up like the last 3 years or something. It's not. Yeah, it's not a direct quote, but it's something like that.
Yeah, like you should have been having conversations with me and taking pictures. Like, what the? That's your response? This is how you? Okay, cool. That was like, but that's part.
She probably didn't understand what he meant in the song.
Probably.
She's just stupid.
Look,
That's
he got a rap. He got a rap with an exaggerated ghetto accent, and maybe she'll pick it up.
That's the thing, man. That's what she. I wonder if she really gets why what she does is appropriation, and why what he does, in my opinion, is not. I think he's just being I think for the most part, well, completely, in my opinion, he is sincere, and whether that sincerity is corny music, whether it's a message that is considered corny by the bulk of black people, he still does it. And he gets mocked and he gets made fun of for the hairstyle and the very PG lyrics, but it doesn't matter. He just does it. And to me, that's authenticity. He doesn't mimic anybody vocally.
Right.
I've never heard him speak. I can't remember hearing him speak like to media or just in interviews, but I haven't heard him sound like
anyone else.
Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Southside Chicago when we know he's a white guy from Seattle. You know what I'm saying? So for that, I respect him. I don't like his music necessarily. 1 or 2 songs, like, oh, okay, you know, this is decent. Like, the production on the first album has some noteworthy pieces on there, but I respect him because he seems authentic. Iggy, I mean,
out the gate.
Man,
Give me the pop,
she's
give me the pop,
what are you talking about, man?
I won't be on the show next Friday because I got a work event in Atlanta, and it's actually to go see and meet Macklemore.
Mm-hmm.
So
Joe finna be converted, Joe.
So I will report my findings, and if he performs this song, I will hit everybody up.
Yes, I do want to. You know what? Just get ready to write a whole article about how the audience reacts to just that song.
Well, and I've seen him live before. When I first moved to Augusta, it was the same concept. Like I had, radio tickets to go see him, and I went up there because I really wanted to see Big Crit because Crit was opening for him. Well, I missed Crit and Kweli, but I made it there for him, and he puts on a damn good show. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing how this goes down, man. But let me tell y'all the reader question, which we may have slightly addressed, but shout out to Brian from The Throwdown on thecoalition.com. He said he was raised on late 90s, early 2000s music, DMX, 50 Cent, G-Unit, The Game, Ludacris, T.I. He said he actually enjoys Macklemore's sound, and he believes he makes a lot of valid points with most of his popular songs. And then he read this particular article that was on Deadspin, and he's like, while I'm willing to agree that I'm not as versed in hip-hop culture and the icons as you guys may be, I want to ask, why do people hate Macklemore? He said, I can't figure it out. Maybe and probably I am missing something here, so can you please be as granular as possible? Explain it to him the best we can. So who wants to jump in first on why?
Joe has the most sincere dislike for Macklemore.
Yo, tag me in.
Now here's the thing. There's two different types of people that hate Macklemore though. There's people that hate his rapping, like just on the music side, nothing to do with race or how he acts in some of the situations he be put in. I think Joe kind of falls into that vein because like his rapping, his cadence is like
it's annoying.
It's all over the place sometimes.
Yeah, but go ahead, Joe.
I think a lot of people despise him based off the whole Grammy situation, because that was really corny. But before that, I feel like he's pop rap. He's bubble, like, I mean, his songs, some of them have meaning, some of them are cool, but he's bubblegum rap. He's top 40 rap. Like, that is his music. So his music appeals to, and it's like in the White Privilege 2 song, it's probably like the middle of it, where he says that the mom's talking to him about, like, oh, I like that you don't cuss in your raps and all this kind of stuff. It's, he makes music for moms.
Yep.
I think
not
really
Kels though.
hate
Kels is
Macklemore.
different.
Like,
go ahead, Kel.
And it's terrible to say that I don't hate him as a person. I don't like his music. And there was a time where I was a little upset that Macklemore, that Big Crit and Talib Kweli were opening up for Macklemore, and I was mad. I had like a whole meltdown. I was like, these two artists are opening up for Macklemore. Like, to me, the quality of the hip hop rap music that they made, and Big Crit it's fun too. It's not always just full of content and stuff, but like, to me, the music that they made was so much better. Like, forget the personality. I don't care what color he is. I don't care where he's from, and sometimes I don't even care how they sound. Like, I just don't like his music. Gotcha. And Big Crit is one of my favorite rappers. I was like, he's opening up for Macklemore. Like, Macklemore needs to be opening up for somebody. Like, he's not that.
I don't know how much control Macklemore has over his sets, but should we take a look at that as how he kind of approaches his place in hip hop? Like, how many people that are Macklemore that have gotten to where he is as the artist that he is would have Big Crit and Talib Kweli to open up?
I think it took me a while to see it in that, like, vision, because I guess the White Privilege 2 song kind of like helped me too a little bit. Like, maybe he is for real. Maybe he's not just, I'm gonna get somebody to open for me and but it's like, let me show my fans, let me show these little white girls Big Crit and Talib Kweli. Like, that's pretty cool.
Because it's weird when you think about the people that Macklemore has been tight with since he since he blew up, like TDE and
Yeah.
him and Schoolboy Q. He's in Schoolboy Q's video for Collard Greens, and him and Kendrick are texting each other, and he opens with Big Crit and Talib Kweli. Like maybe there's a lot more to that.
Maybe he's really about this life.
Yeah, maybe he is really about this life. But like, I mean, Mac Miller has the same circles basically. You know what I'm saying? It's just his approach is very different, and even Mac Miller, I don't feel like is a person that culturally appropriates in his music. But B. Will, any thoughts?
Well, like we kind of, got into it a little bit. I do think his message is corny compared to most rap music. So the standard of what's accepted and what rap should be about, what we like from it, he doesn't fit the bill in that way. And that's why a lot of people just don't accept. It's like, nah, that's not real rap. And like you said, Joe, it is pop top 40. Like, it's pop music. So, the closest comparison I can think to somebody who made pop music, pop rap, who actually got love was MC Hammer, but that's because he was an all-around entertainer. Like, he was dancing, and that was a really big deal. Like, Hammer's dancing and the pants and the outfits. And so, but at the same time, MC Hammer ain't finna battle rap nobody either. He didn't garner that respect in the hip hop community. I guess at that time, the hip hop community wasn't as deep and diverse and complex as it is right now. It's like black people were just doing hip hop, and then, it was like a fight to get to the MTV awards and stuff. So it was like everybody kind of went together early, and Hammer was right just before the gangster rap popped off. So once gangster rap popped off, then it was a whole different kind of struggle. Like, we kind of got got into the Grammys with Hammer and them, but it wasn't that acceptance that the hood got later. And so since the hood has gotten that acceptance, it's not like a whole bunch of corny shit gets free pass. And Macklemore getting a Grammy over somebody that was as certified as Kendrick was at that time, it was like, no, you can't take that from us. Like, it's not like there was nothing that came out this year that was certified.
You're making the exact point I was about ready to chime in and make, is that a lot of people probably resent him too, is because he didn't do the grind. On the indie circuit, yes, but he didn't do the grind like normal urban artists do, as radio considers the format, hip hop. He went straight pop. He didn't have to cross over at all at any point. Because even if you look at some of these pop acts, like Flo Rida didn't have to cross over. Pitbull is probably the only one, but early Pitbull records, you don't really remember hearing them on the radio. Nope. You only remember hearing the stuff that he's been making the last 5, 6, 7 years or so. So I think a lot of people still resent him too, because he didn't do the normal hip hop grind. It's almost like selling out to begin with.
Right, and I understand that. Like, I get that, because we're kind of in this mixtape, local homies. You drop a mixtape, it's got to get some saturation somewhere. It's word of mouth, it's internet, it's just passing it around, and then they get a buzz, and then that next mixtape drops or whatever, and then you just get a big enough buzz to pop off on the major level. But I almost want to say I don't knock him for that, because if he's white and he's making corny stuff, it's not like he sold out, well, I'm going to make corny stuff because that's what's going to get me on. Like, this is really who he is.
It's his personality. Like, this is what I'm going to pop some tags. We're going to do a song about the thrift shop. And shit, like,
because I don't feel like he's being fake. If it's authentic and people like it, that's fine. There are a whole lot more people who live and like Macklemore than who live and relate to hood stuff, and I don't think he can be blamed for that.
True that. 100%. Anybody got last words on that? Nope. All right. Be sure to hit thecoalition.com, hit the post, and let us know what you think of these two topics. The Macklemore White Privilege 2 joint. Let us know what you think about Kanye West, his career up until now, and the prospect of getting a lot more Madlib production. And also, I forgot to throw this note out there. I hope that there's a lot more Madlib on there, because he's criminally slept, has been for a long time. So, hopefully this will get him some more buzz as well. especially I think Kels may have retweeted somebody way back in the day, or somebody did. Like they were like, people talk about Dilla being the greatest ever and being sad that he's gone, but we still have Madlib here, which does, he does very, very similar
The
production. Which I was like,
injustices.
hey, yes, that's third. That was like that would hurt me a little bit when I saw it.
The tears were shed.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's go ahead and move on into the main topic of tonight: Andre 3000 versus the world. It's without a doubt, Outkast will go down as top 5 ever in hip hop, in my opinion. For me, they're number 1 with like no discussion whatsoever needing to be had. But Andre 3000, kind of since their pseudo split, has been doing feature verses and such that have kind of propelled him into the conversation for one of the best lyricists ever to have lived. And we're going to have that discussion and kind of see if we can come to a consensus. But before that, we did the preview playlist, of course, earlier in the week. If you caught it, you saw that we had about 11 songs on there nominated by the people on the Nights of the Turntable show. And we're going to go down it and talk about who nominated what and why they nominated this song. I'm going to give Something Wicked This Way Comes to you, Kels, even though we both have plenty to say about it. But go ahead and speak on it.
Thank you. I don't know how many times I can repeat this, but every time I'm going to say it, that is the reason I fell in love with hip-hop. Andre 3000 on Something Wicked This Way Comes is amazing, and it starts there, the conversation that I don't think Andre's ever had a bad verse, and it started when I was 6 years old. Like, I don't see how he's not considered one of the greatest, in my personal opinion. If I'm about to be 28 years old. That's a lot of years. Like, you went through 22 years and not having a bad verse. I think I have to put you up there. And Something Wicked This Way Comes was on a TLC album. It wasn't even like he didn't just start doing that, but when they were Outkast, he wasn't doing as many features. Mm-hmm. Like, features have always been his thing because he doesn't oversaturate himself with like making music, I guess, and that's why some people don't want to include him.
Right, very, very true. All right, next is What a Job. That's also your nomination.
Oh shit! I forgot about What a Job. Shit was spectacular. Yes, it was.
That is like the way he explains it. He's like, if I come to your job and took your corn on the cob and I took a couple kernels off, that'll be all right with you. First of all, Andre was being shady as hell. Like, you work at KFC, bro. If I come there and I take some corn and I just take a little bit off, is that cool with you? And no, it's not. Like, he was like, that's why I think that's part of the reason why he didn't want to make music, was because everybody was pirating. Like, so he's out here like, this is my art. He was talking so much shit on that. And then, I mean, it's a Devin song, and if you don't like Devin, then I don't trust you.
Right.
So, like, it's just, the beat is amazing. Everything about it is amazing. And Andre just, yeah. I'm about to go listen to it when we finish.
All right. The 2 songs, I'm going to skip over this one because I think that was also a Kels track. But Babylon and Millennium were nominated by Mr. Joe Hova. Those are off the AT Aliens project. Speak your mind.
AT Aliens is by far in my top 5 projects of any genre of music of all time. Like, Prince is in there, Jay-Z's in there, and then Outkast is in there. Like, it's all meshed up like that.
Okay.
So Babylon is just, it blows my mind, like, every time I hear it, because I think I'm having a hard time remembering right now. That's the one where he says we call it horny because it's devilish or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, just that verse in general, just like the whole way that he's like reaching to that point is like, it's amazing. And then Millennium, he starts off the verse with, me and everything around me is unstable like Chernobyl. Like, who starts a verse off like that? Like, you're talking about fucking Chernobyl, the fucking Chernobyl chemical meltdown in a hip-hop verse. Like, blew my mind the first time I heard that. But, like, just those 2 verses alone, that made me really appreciate Andre's music. And the funny thing about those verses is I didn't really hear AT Aliens until I was in college. So I've only known that album for about 10 years.
Yep, actually, Aquemini I was more acquainted with before I was more acquainted with AT Aliens.
And see, well, this is a discussion for another day, but I think AT Aliens is better than Aquemini, so.
It might be, man.
Man, you know what? You catch me on a random day like that order flips. So like,
Yeah.
it's just like that. It's two incredible albums. It just depends on what mood I'm in. But all right. So sorry, T.I., Andre 3000. Who nominated that one? Was that Dom that put that one on there?
That's mine. That's mine.
That was yours too. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
How
Go
did
ahead.
mine end up like this? Okay. Yeah, sorry. The thing about Sorry is T.I. rapped his ass off. The first time I heard that song, I was like, oh, T.I. went in. And then Andre started rapping, and I forgot T.I. was on this song. Like, because he starts rapping fast, and he's talking about, I don't like rapping fast. I used to be a way better writer and a rapper when I used to on the Black Carmen gig. Like, he's like, everything we were wondering about where Andre had been and what he had been up to and why he was out here tripping, he talked about it on the song, like, make you call your rap partner and say, I'm sorry, I'm awkward, my fault for fucking up the tours. Like, Andre told his life story, and I think that's why people really, really love him, is because he tells his life story. And in this song, he went in, call your baby mama and shit, and he rapped for, like, the whole 3 verses on there. And I think I still know I know every single word to it. It's just ridiculous. And at the end when he says, it's boring? Boring? Really? And then he's like, starts singing after that. Like, nobody can do that but Andre.
Yeah, that's true. He definitely has that flair. And that song, I can't remember what year that came out, but that was on Trouble Man, right?
Yeah, so that was like 2012.
2012.
Okay. That probably had to be like the last time somebody, like, I just imagine like there was a conversation where it was like, all right, so you got an Andre feature verse. You isolate yourself, you get down to that notepad and you can outrhyme him. You got 2 verses to outrhyme 3 stacks. And T.I. did his 2 verses, went in the studio, put them together, and somebody played them back to Andre verse.
Yo,
like, shit.
T.I. threw the 2 Hail Marys that Aaron Rodgers did last year.
Yeah.
It still got beat.
Still lost.
Still lost. And like I posted on Twitter before the show the interview he did, and he was like he felt so hurt when he heard Andre's verse. He was like, that man came on there and watched me on my whole track, and he said Andre.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say he said it in an interview, and apparently Andre called him and was like, "Don't say that, man, because your verses are what put me in that mindset." And T.I. was like, "That was very classy of you to say, but you still watched me on the track."
That was very classy of you to say, my good man, but you still.
I still took that L.
Still.
But and that's the thing, like that was T.I.'s like comeback album too. Yeah. Like T.I. was spitting flames on that album, like that entire.
That might be my favorite verses from him on it too. But I gotta consider them 2 separate songs. T.I. Sorry, Andre Sorry.
You should have made a remix version. And just
yeah, bro. What do you
let that ride there, homie.
But it was cool, not cool of him. That's real of him to put that verse on there anyway. Because I know some artists, you send them a verse and it's better than theirs. They're like, I might save this for the next one. I might put it on. Or I might rewrite my verses. Not even if I don't use your verse, somebody else might have rewrote their verses. I was like, just watch me.
See, what had happened was we already mixed it and sent it off.
I don't know where your verse
was. Before we continue this Andre discussion, did y'all see the guy challenging T.I. to an anti-gravity hat off on Twitter?
Yes, but she was amazed.
T.I. just responded. T.I. responded to
it. You retweet that, dog.
Hold on, I'm gonna retweet both of them. This dude tweeted this yesterday. And then T.I. just responded like at 9:50 today, and he put, how dare he, Krieg LaFleur, that's his @name. Like my son starting to golf today and calling out Tiger, be gone from my presence, mere peasant.
He did it. He did it in the overuse.
T.I. is high.
He did it with the words too. Oh shit!
Look at his face.
This is
dope. It's a picture with this. Oh god.
All right,
I just retweeted at Jehovah's MF, so check that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna retweet both of those on the Coalition account so people can check it out. and know what the hell we're laughing at
Hey,
right
I think
now.
Boy might have beat him though. Y'all see the angle on the head? I don't know.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. But the hair might
Can
be
we
helping him
discuss
out
that?
just a little
Oh,
bit.
that's
though.
true. The hair is helping. Okay, it's tilting up.
I was thinking Tip was gonna reply with like a hat actually floating above his head, and I was like, "Damn, you can't beat that shit."
You wish.
I mean, this hat's damn near floating off of his head right
It
now.
really is. Oh, that's brilliant. I wonder if dude's gonna try to come back with it, but he definitely took an L right
Hold
now.
on, where's the response? I don't see the response.
Oh, I retweeted it, and Joe did too.
Yeah.
If you click it, you can see the thread because he
That's
responded
good.
directly to it.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, that was lovely. That was a good little break in the show. All right, so the next one, one of the more recent songs to spark the Andre 3000 is the GOAT conversation. He did a verse on Erykah Badu's "Hello," which apparently let her tell it. You know, she was just playing it for him and bouncing ideas, and he suggested that she get an artist to rap on it. And she was like, "Well, why don't you rap on it?" And that's how we get this song. I don't really know what else I can say about it. It's just like the storytelling is dope. The rapping is dope. You know, he can rap in any cadence that he wants, and he flips it. His rhyme patterns are all over the place, and then he's just sings afterwards, and it's just dope. It's just I don't know. I don't have much else to say other than that. Like it's dope from top to bottom. And then we have I Can't Wait.
Woo!
That nomination. Okay, so
Shit.
that one.
Sleepy.
Oh, Sleepy Brown Appreciation.
Sleepy. Can we
We're gonna do a
please get
Sleepy
Sleepy
Brown
Brown
appreciation.
appreciation?
We gotta do it. We gotta make it happen. But I Can't Wait. Actually, that verse is my favorite Andre 3000 verse. And that's hard to say considering Something Wicked This Way comes and how much that one means to me because it's similar to your situation, Kels. We've talked about it before. But
Yeah.
I Can't Wait was just so perfect though. Like, and then the music video on top of that.
I'm about to go watch it.
It was just complete. It was just wonderful. I don't even remember what year that came out either, but
06.
94.
that was 06. 94. Goddamn.
Wait, can't wait. Hey, man,
Just kidding.
Boy, I was like, wait a minute, how old am I? No.
Yeah, but yeah, man, he broke his foot off in that verse, and that young lady in the music video probably fell in love and had a little heart broke when the recording was done because that shit was fire. And I think I Do was Dom's nomination.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody want to speak on that?
I feel like that was at a point where Andre was like dropping only one verse a year. Like we were getting like one verse a year, and this goes into the argument that I'm gonna make later about like if he's where he's at on our lists.
Mm-hmm.
But it's he doesn't give us a whole lot of material, so we got to savor it.
Right. And it's always so much to savor though.
Mm-hmm.
Legitimately. Pink Matter. The rest of the songs is we got Pink Matter, we got International Players Anthem, which I put the verses from that and I Do like right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're really similar, of course, and they're incredible. Brian, go ahead and speak on International Players Anthem.
International Players Anthem, man. It was so appropriate because it gave a song that was finna be a marvelous conglomeration of southernness. That song was so fucking southern in the most wonderful way. Like, I'ma choose it.
Lover never fuck without a rubber.
I almost shed a tear right there, man. I had to stop.
Yo, if I
So
ever do
is this just in
karaoke,
Houston or everywhere? If they play these songs, does everybody flip out, or is that just here? Like, is that?
No, that'll get somebody everywhere.
anytime I've ever heard International Players Anthem, I have like flipped out, and I'm from the Midwest, so.
And I hear it at just about every show that I go to. Granted, I go to all shows in the South, but it doesn't matter what artist. Like, no matter what artist I'm going to see, that song gets played by whatever DJ is before the main person goes up. Like, it always get played, and the whole crowd know all the verses, and it's just a wonderful.
It was like
moment of solidarity every time.
It's like what March Madness does to a crowd now. Like once you hear the beat drop and Pimp goes in, like it's just nuts.
Yeah, and what's amazing about that to me is the mix. I don't know who made the decision to put Andre first and to have him before any percussion drop. Because once the beat drops and other people start rapping, you can't make that a relationship verse anymore. Not really. Like Big Boi kind of did.
But he led into it so perfectly.
He led the song off. That was a very complex happening of going from being single to wiping the girl, and your boys was like, all right, watch out. If that's what you want to do, I got you. It was such a complex look at the progression from being a single dude to being willing to settle down. And if I told you, yeah, it's gonna be the story with Pimp C, Bun B, it's gonna be about my verse gonna be about getting ready to settle down. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't fuck without a rubber. That's what I'm talking about. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, I had to make that choice to go down the aisle. But he can pull it off because he does it so well, man. That's fucking amazing.
And the beautiful thing about that is like how you said that it's about like him and his homeboys. Like he's telling his homeboys he's walking down the aisle, but then it sets it up for Pimp, Bun, and Big Boi to all be his homeboys who are like, "Fuck that, we're getting fucking laid tonight."
Yeah, absolutely.
It's true. Any more words on that particular song?
I want to do Pimp C's verse as my first karaoke verse ever.
Make sure we're there for that, please. Like, Brian got to do Stack's verse. He living that life now.
Man, I don't mind that at all.
I would ask Kel to do Bun verse, but I don't know if she wants to.
I told you I'd do it as long as I don't invite her.
She gonna diss Bun on stage.
My bad.
All right, and the last one was nominated by Richard Bailey. It was a day in the life of Benjamin Andre, and it's that song. I mean, it's just 4 minutes and 50 seconds of him telling the story.
4 minutes of flowing,
just flowing and non-stop. And he's just going to Jordan, just tells the whole story of his life and his how he got to where he is in his career. It's crazy, but it's dope. Like he can make any story dope.
And here's why I think
he just only tells dope stories.
Well, here's why I think that people really like that song too, because it's like his Bound 2 off Yeezus. That was the only song on Love Below that sounded like an Outkast hip hop song.
Right.
Yeah. That's true. That's a good point. But unlike Bound 2, this song is actually...
It was fire.
All right, so also on that playlist, I dropped the music video for Roses in there because I love that freaking song, and I got to see my classmates at Huffman recreate that music video.
That's
on
dope.
Senior day. Your brother was one of the main people leading that too, bro.
That's crazy.
It was crazy, but let's go ahead and jump into the actual discussion about Andre 3000 and his place in hip hop. Now, Joe, you already said you planted that seed. One of the biggest things that you have to come back to, and it's like one of the only blemishes that you can put on 3 Stacks. Is how often we have him.
My thing with 3 Stacks is he's a great artist. He's phenomenal. Outkast, like you said earlier, they're gonna go down as one of the best hip hop groups and artists to ever do it. But Andre also benefits from having Big Boi in the same way that when you bring up duos, that Malice benefited from Pusha T and vice versa. You only have to drop 1 verse, maybe a verse and a half on a song, instead of like the solo artists, like T.I. and Jeezy and all these other people and Jay, they have to drop 3 verses, and sometimes do the hooks too. Right. So I feel like that gave Andre an advantage to where he could do quality over quantity, whereas a lot of people are quantity over quality. And then with the same thing with the guest verses, there for a while we were getting 1 guest verse maybe a year from Andre, 2 if we were lucky, from about 06. When did that U remix drop? That was like 06, 07. Mm-hmm. So from about then, that's when we started getting about maybe 1 or 2 verses. And then after that, it was like 1 verse a year, maybe if we were lucky. So
when 16 ain't enough. Hey, we got some long. Hey, every time he dropped a verse, them shits was never 16s though.
Never ever.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I think it says something. It's a testament to his ability as a rapper that he didn't have to do whole songs. Like he'll have 32 bars on your song and it'll be the best part of your album. I don't think you can take away from his talent by saying because he's not putting out enough music or his place in hip hop because he's not putting out enough music. I think the thing is Andre's just always going to do whatever he wants to do regardless. He want to put out music, he's going to put out music. He doesn't want to put out music, he's not going to put out music, but it's never bad. And not too many people can say that. Like, would you rather have a couple mediocre projects?
Somebody gonna hit him. Well, the people that hit him up are like, all right, so we need a verse from you, and we only got room for like a 16. It was like, well, you must not want an Andre 3000 verse on your.
You called the wrong number.
you better loop that instrumental and make it work. But Brian, your thoughts?
I mean, to me, Andre is. I can't say he's the absolute greatest rapper ever. And some of that does go to a level of consistency of material. Like Jay said, I mean, Jigga held you down 6 summers. Damn, where's the love? That takes that takes some effort to make an album every fucking year. That takes some effort, and because you risk watering down your own material. You risk oversaturation by doing that. Jay was able to do that. And to be honest, I don't know if we'll ever see a run like Jay had. In relevance to what's going on right now, like Future can do it. He'll probably have about a 3-year run. 2 Chainz had a good. It was 2
Chainz had 2 Chainz had that 2011 to 2013 run.
Right. Yeah, it's about 2 years, and that seems to kind of be the average now. But when you drop something every summer, and not only are you the dude headlining the tour, what was the name of that? Backstage? That was the album that was like with the tour, the Hard Knock Life tour.
Mm-hmm.
He was the headline for that tour. He was going 3, 4, 5 times platinum. He was the biggest deal in hip hop for really about 5, 6 years, and that's really hard to do as far as Jay-Z. So there is, I feel like you put yourself out there more, you risk more by doing that. So I would knock Andre down 1 step. To me, he's got to be number 2, and that's because verses are relevant. His verses are relevant. Like if a song has a topic, his verse is about what the song is about.
He doesn't pull that Jay-Z or that Rick Ross on your feature.
Right. It's not this standard issue stuff. Like you could take a Rick Ross song off of a verse off of 8 R&B songs, then it all sound like just some random shit he spilled on his album. Like, what are you talking about? You hear what the song's about? But
it's like that Boss Sauce tweet he's talking about Juicy J. Yeah, the song's about like love and peace. He's like, all right, well, cool. I'm gonna rap about shooting.
Right. And that is, I'm not gonna say that's difficult. Some people, that's just how they communicate. Like I can't speak in generalities. Give me a situation, give me a topic, I can go in on that. And his ability to do that well, to do it, but he was never so conventional that you knew what was coming. He was always so much different than Big Boi. Like Big Boi he has his lane. Big Boi has his conventions, and it's always good to hear. I've never been bored with a Big Boi verse or felt like one was whack. But you never knew what the fuck Andre was going to do. And it was still always impressive. Always. And like you're saying, not only is he a feature on the song and it's impressive, and you didn't know what you were going to hear on that beat, like, man, what's he going to do on this? You were always impressed, and it's usually the best part of the fucking song.
Here's where I knew Andre was great. When he hopped on the Walk It Out remix.
Oh, my God.
He turned a song about two-stepping and walking it out, something that you're playing when you're drunk at 1 a.m. with your college friends, and made it motivational.
Come on, man. Like it was about a topic. I can't even believe that. He was lecturing you about how your car depreciates later.
I'm sitting there trying to walk it out with my friends. I'm like sophomore year of college when this.
Andre started preaching.
Andre is preaching, and I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad that Andre is telling me about this stuff.
Yeah. Wasn't he on the Throw Some D's remix too?
Throw Some D's. That's what I was just listening to before we started. I was like, okay, I forgot how hard Andre went on this. Like, whoa.
He snapped. And I think those 2 remixes are kind of what brought a lot of other people into that conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this? And he just killed it.
And let's not forget about his verse on the Art of Storytelling Part 4.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
ridiculous. Yeah.
It's like, wait and see, and y'all was mad that I said we had to limit it to 2. We would have had 50 songs on that playlist. It's like, well, let's just put every Outkast album.
Just list all of these.
Let's just put every song on there because he doesn't have any weak verses.
Yeah.
No, he does not.
Just like,
Did we ever? You know what? I don't think we mentioned this. I just want to throw these out there, just for the love of the Andre. The Aquemini, his second verse. The song Aquemini, his second verse.
Oh, it was incredible.
Oh my God.
Yes, absolutely wonderful. Just like that whole lead up to that verse.
To the verse, yeah.
Oh my goodness. The whole little break, like I really thought the song was over.
Yes, man.
And then bam.
Oh shit.
I got that album for Christmas, and I listened to that song over and over and over and over. It actually took me a while to get through the whole thing, but it's fire. Now, we have the Love Below, right? And another thing that people kind of forget when they're talking about him in this on this ladder, he's also an incredible songwriter. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Like outside of his verses, the structure of the songs that he puts together, and his singing and random Outkast, Andre 3000 shit that you'll find in these songs, in the skits as well. Like you can't copy it anywhere.
Like Chronometrophobia.
Oh my goodness.
That is one of the best songs ever. I left that out of my list. Damn it! Can we redo this list?
I know we need to because we forgot Spodioti.
Yes, and Chrono.
And that's not even a verse. That's him narrating.
Yes. Chronometrophobia, I did not forget that one when I was putting the list together before. I just couldn't. They blocked all of the people that took the clips from the movie and put it online.
Well, that's rude.
And yeah, I didn't want to just put the song on there.
You're taking a couple kernels off of his corn?
Basically. But we have, like, a lot of people say that he can't make the list because he doesn't have a solo album also.
Like, who made these rules? I'm so confused.
It's randos. It's just randos out there. But we do have a Love Below. And, I mean, you can't forget. I mean, his stamp on Outkast albums do count for something.
Right. It took both of them to be Outkast.
Right. It took both of them. You wouldn't have Outkast without both of them together. Which, Big Boi, oh, man, he gets the shaft. But that's just the bad side of being next to somebody that's considered a top 5 artist ever at this point. Because Big Boi, he ain't no slouch either.
Nah, he's not.
No. But do y'all think that he should be knocked down a few steps because he doesn't have an album now? Like, after everything, he hasn't put an album out.
I don't think so. I don't think that you should restrict what quality means. You know what I mean? Do you like it? Does it sound good? Do you enjoy listening to it? Do you enjoy listening to it 10 years down the line?
I don't
5
know.
years?
Like, because my counterpoint to this is going to be Malice, because I think Malice is a top 5, at least top 10 rapper ever.
Mm-hmm. And doesn't have a solo. Well, actually, he does have a solo album now, though.
As no Malice, but that doesn't count. I'm talking strictly Malice, who's apologetic for Pusha T and upset that his brother had to sell drugs.
Look at all these restrictions.
Oh, snap. Absol tweeting. Hope he put out some good music.
Oh.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have been as funny as it was.
That was though.
My bad, man. I'm still hurt. I'm feeling that. Sorry, Kels. These days. These days.
All right, good night, y'all.
I gotta disagree with you, Kels. I actually feel like he can't be top 3 if he does not have like that another album, just one more album. Because Love Below is incredible, and I do count that as a solo, even though creatively they probably worked on both of those albums together. Still.
Okay, so I have a question. That's one of those like hit the blunt questions, I think. Why is it so necessary for us to pick a top 5 rappers of all time when rap is not over? Rap is nowhere close to it being a complete genre. You know, like rock music has been around for how long, and they're never like, who's the top 3 right now?
Because
like,
rap is so related to sports. It's almost as competitive as sports.
Right.
That the two go hand in hand. So like, and I mean that's the thing with the NFL, the NBA, baseball. You're always gonna look, oh, who's the top 5 of all time? Like it's one of those cases where like hip hop is so competitive, like sports, that I feel like this is gonna be an ongoing thing no matter what.
Yeah, and like in some circles, you don't need to have this conversation because it's gonna be annoying as hell, and you're gonna have some weird nominations.
And because I'm gonna fight somebody, like.
Yeah, definitely. I'm right there with you, but I feel like we can have this conversation.
Yeah.
Because we appreciate just about every angle of hip hop. So when we collectively get together
my top
and make
list
this.
pretty frequently, probably depends on what mood I'm in.
Now, when I say
Andre
that, like,
could be up there.
because like, and then I'm also able to separate like a universal kind of top 5 ever from my own personal top 5. Because Jay-Z is nowhere near my top 5.
Yeah.
He's like not in there. But I can respect what he did and the run that he had, and you know what I'm saying, and what I don't know what he did with what he had at that point. I can respect it, but he's just not my top 5. But I can understand it being for somebody else.
I feel like Jay-Z is kind of the reason why that like it's oversaturate yourself. That whole you drop an album every year is impressive in rap music because you end up oversaturating yourself, and that's what fans of the genre want most of the time. They want music right now.
They want something all the time.
More.
Right.
I'll admit it too. I'll be like, damn, I want another album from this person. It hasn't even been a year.
Right.
Now a year is a long time, and I think Jay-Z kind of started that. Like he moved towards that. You have to oversaturate yourself to be the best, and I don't know if that's necessarily true. I love Jay-Z as a rapper, but he kind of started that whole movement. And when you say, oh, Jay-Z had a long span, like Jay-Z had a 6-year span of releasing an album every year, and like how long is a general hip hop artist span being quote unquote hot or whatever? Like how long does that usually last? What's the average lifespan of a career? That's why I feel like Andre needs to be up there. The sheer longevity of how he could drop something next week and everybody's going to talk about it.
Right, and that's what's impressive to me is if he's going to have a feature verse in 2016, it's going to be way better than a Jay-Z feature verse in 2016. Something has to be said for that. That's something remarkable to me. Like y'all were saying, he does it because he wants to do it. There's not a quota to fill. He's not jumping on an artist's song because he just signed this artist, so he has to try to make them hot. Andre is going to write a verse because he was feeling whatever song that you pitched to him, and he's got something for it, and it's going to be outstanding. Jay-Z is rapping because somebody asked him to rap, or because he got something he wants to promo, or because he's got to do the song with Beyonce. That's why he raps. Andre raps, and he's going to fucking kill it, and it's going to blow your mind. Who does that 25 years after they drop? Who is dropping verses hotter than when they first started 25 years after the fact? Even when they first started, it was still outstanding in the first place. Who's done that?
Andre's the only one.
Very true. All right, so let's put it this way. Just rap. Like we're not talking about the albums itself, not even the song structure. Who could be the #1 artist? Like if you take this person, you put a mic in front of them, they have to write a verse. We're gonna say that this person can just outright every single other person in hip hop. Would Andre be that person?
Definitely.
Oh,
Wait, everybody?
Because the conversation changes a little bit then. Because when you have this kind of list, Jay-Z's not in it. But an artist like Jay Electronica could be in it, in like the top 10 of it.
Scarface.
But we're just talking about just penning the verse.
Fonte would be in there.
Lupe would be in there.
Nah, he gonna have to have somebody translate for him.
We'll put an asterisk next to him.
If he can come back down to first album and before the first album, Lupe, then absolutely. Then he wins and this discussion is over. But until then.
But you say he wins? I don't know though. Do we think that Lupe automatically wins? Because I feel like his would probably be the most deep and complex. But Andre's
the most memorable too.
It's memorable, it's relatable, and it can
It's
be complex.
funny. It's full of
And yes, it has
personality.
humor. Yeah, like
But
Yeah.
it's also serious
all the
and
way around.
emotional and love and hate and yeah.
Yeah, I would say Andre, but I think Fonte. If we're talking just give me an outstanding verse right now, mine would be Fonte, Lupe, definitely Andre. If it's on drugs, Eminem. Not on drugs, not Eminem.
Really? Hey, that's real as shit though. And you know what? That you bring up Fonte, because Fonte's in my top 5, like my personal top 5.
Yeah.
He's probably the closest one that can get to an Andre style verse, in my opinion, and also the singing side of things too.
Oh yeah, yeah. He may have surpassed Andre in that sense with the songwriting.
Yeah, because I mean we're getting full on albums of him singing, and they're great.
Yeah.
You know who's also underrated as a songwriter, just penning verses, is CeeLo. CeeLo could write a verse that'll blow your mind. And,
Yeah. Then he does his
just go back and listen to Soul Food. Just go back and listen to Soul Food.
CeeLo Green is the soul machine. He said, I keep my feet on the ground and bring the sky to you. And I'm like, CeeLo.
CeeLo is a poet like no other.
Yeah.
He really is, yeah.
With his little T-Rex arms.
We have to have a CeeLo appreciation day too.
You need to watch the hot tub episode of American Dad with CeeLo singing as a hot tub.
Yeah.
Incredible. Please go watch that. But okay, so 3 Stacks number 1. Do y'all think of anybody that might dethrone him? Got nothing.
Part of me wants to say Kendrick. To write a verse,
to perform it, maybe.
Yeah.
But to write it,
but the writing part, I don't like. When you put them down on paper, I don't think Kendrick's verse is gonna stand up there.
I don't know, man.
If I'm just reading it, like reading the lyrics or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of me wants to say Kendrick, but I don't think I can.
I think you have to hear Kendrick's inflection and a lot of his.
Yeah, that's a big part of his.
Like that's what
his delivery.
That's what draws people to Kendrick. Like that's what drew me to Kendrick was his delivery on the Heart Part 2.
Yeah, and Andre has an amazing delivery as well. But you can read his verses like a book or like a poem, like.
Right. And I think that's a difference between Kendrick early and Kendrick now. Kendrick now is he's more inflection and a little less content. He's not saying anything topic wise like. Each line is not a punchline, and it's not that it always was, but there is less gymnastics in what he does now, and it's more just stream of thought. I guess it was the best way to say it.
I think that's definitely the case more like on To Pimp a Butterfly and a couple of the features he's done since then. But when you think of Black Friday, that was more old Kendrick on there. I think he's entirely capable of still doing that. I think he may be saving that for the next project, maybe. I don't know, because I don't think the next album is going to be anything like To Pimp a Butterfly was. I think it'll be on some rapidy rap shit.
Be interesting.
As Lupe says.
Yeah.
Back on his rapidy waps. But I think we can leave Andre 3000 firmly in that number 1 spot. And when we get to the discussion of hip hop careers, then that whole thing changes up. And Jay-Z probably takes that. Cause
don't get me started on that. What time is? No, I don't have time for that.
That'll be another conversation that we have. But that's been all of our topics for today. Did y'all have any last words on the Andre 3000 topic?
It was so fun to like go back and listen to Outkast projects this week. And the playlist, and just like from time to, Outkast is one of my favorite groups ever. And you always forget about like your favorite projects every now and then because you get caught up in the hype of like what's happening now. But like when you go back and you listen to that stuff and it still gives you the same feeling as when you first heard it, it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
very true. Especially when Kel said "What a job," I about jumped out my skin. Because I hadn't listened to that song in forever. I love that song. Everybody's verse was fire.
Yeah. Even Snoop, which was great, because I was falling off of Snoop at that time. I was like, I don't know about Snoop, man, but He fit right on in. That song is perfect.
Yep, it is. But that's been all of our topics for today. Feel free to hit the comment section. Let us know what you think. Do you feel that as a artist, as a hip hop artist, as a rhymer, Andre 3000 is number one? Who else would you put up there in that top five? And do you believe that Andre 3000 stands as top five career artists in hip hop right now? Of course, hit the Patreon on the Coalition. It's in the post on thecoalition.com for this particular show. To support the website, check out the Throwdown and the Co-op podcast as well. And we also did a versus podcast with the Throwdown versus Panel to Panel, our new comic book podcast, and it was a really good discussion on diversity in the comic book industry. But that's it. We're wrapping it up. But with me, I had Joe Hova.
Yo, joehovasmf.com. Check that out.
Word, Kels.
Appreciate y'all. As always, follow me on Twitter at justkels88.
Yep. We're gonna have to give you and Brian some logos to put up so everybody can follow y'all on Twitter and roast y'all for y'all opinions on there.
Oh,
that's cool.
super lit.
Get real promiscuous with that block button.
Well, never mind. I'm out then. I got time.
Word. And we also have Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh man, I said your whole government. I ain't even mean to do that.
It's all good, man.
But thank y'all for tuning in. We will see y'all next time. Peace out.